welcome to the very first edition of the Woods Finest podcast. I'm your boy Griff. I'm joined by two of the fellow members of the Woods Finest. Sitting to my left, let's introduce ourselves. What you got?
Ramon, representing 757. Grew up in the Woods Finest.
And to my right,
Cody, 757 Woods Finest, of course. Here with my people, we're going to tell y'all a little bit about ourselves.
yeah, looking forward to doing this thing with three of the Woods Finest. And today's first episode, we're talking about friendship. No better way than to kick this first episode off.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to start with is, what is our definition? What is your definition of friendship? I'm going to start with you, Coach. What you got?
My definition of friendship is, I would say loyalty is very important when it comes to friendship. And I know that I can say that you two brothers, I know that there have been times in my life I've been calling on y'all. We've been through Lord knows how many things, you know.
Absolutely.
You got that right. But I'm sure Ramon's gonna tell you about the lightning bolt before this all over. That's all I'm gonna say. Come on, Ramon. Come on, you brother.
It's all good. So we figured we're gonna talk about friendship. So I kind of looked it up. I do the analytical side of things. So I looked it up and I looked up Merriam-Webster's definition, and it's one attached to another by affection or esteem. And I was like, yeah, that sounds real technical or whatever. But to me, it is more about the bond that we all have together. We've been together 30, whatever, close to 40 years of friendship, and that is not easy to come by. And it doesn't come without its bumps and bruises, ins and outs, sometimes fallouts, whatever it might happen to be. But hey, that bond gets you back together, and love, trust, and dependability. Like I know fact, not fiction. I've called these brothers right here at this table, and you okay? I say nah. Say less.
Yeah, on their way.
And they're on their way. Like legit. Right. It's not even a question.
Yep,
so right. And I know it. I don't even have to via text message I can say it. My doorbell gonna ring. You know what I'm saying? So
sure
that's true friendship, and it stood the test of time.
I agree. Yeah, for me, it's not really quantifiable what friendship truly is. You can't put your finger on it, but you know when you see it. And for me, I think it's about the actions, because it's easy for people to be around when things are good.
Absolutely, yes.
When the bottles are full and we're partying. Everybody's good for that. We playing some cards, we chopping it up. Everybody's good for that. But it's the times when you're going through something. Absolutely. The tough times come, and it's amazing how many people don't show up for those things.
Oh, that's a fact, right?
I mean, I just remember not too long ago, my grandmother passed away, and I hadn't seen you in a little while, but man, it just did my heart good to see everybody show up and support, and I mean, that means the world to me. And, and that's what it's all about. I think those actions that people showing up when you need to be there.
That's it.
That's all it's about.
100%.
It's like every time you say something, another memory come up. Cause
right.
I was with you when you found out.
You
got back to South Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pull it over.
He had to.
Pull it over because he got that call. He's riding back. I was like, wow.
I forgot we were going to get him fired.
We was, bro.
See some trees.
Absolutely.
Man,
absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah, neighbors had a good time.
Absolutely. Always do.
Yeah, it's just when you're trying to build something, when you're going through something, that's just the best test of a friendship.
You said quantifiable, I said intangible.
You know what I'm
saying?
Exactly.
Because it's really hard to put a dot on it. Like this is what it is. This is what it is.
Because
when you gonna feel it.
Yeah, and it's different for different people, different friends. You do have different kinds of
different categories. For sure.
You definitely do. You definitely do.
Absolutely. So, what do you look for in finding a friend? Like, what kind of things are you looking for? What is it that's saying, you know what, I will invest in this person, and maybe we can kick it down the road?
I'm gonna say I'm looking for someone that's gonna invest in me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I am. I can say definitely in the past year. I'm definitely gonna say the past year. I have been about directing my energy towards things that are good for me.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like I'm not going to give my energy to anybody that's not giving me energy back. What's the purpose of me trying to hang out with you, be your friend, if you're not doing the same for me? If I only hear from you when I'm trying to do something or I'm paying for something, then we're not really friends. I am I'm assisting you living my lifestyle, and I can't do that.
Leeches.
I mean,
no,
for lack of a better word.
Try to avoid leeches, because leeches do one thing. They feed on the host.
Yep, that's
There's
it.
nothing left to eat.
Yep.
And then they find
they find another host.
Absolutely. So you pay attention to, in those tough times, those people who are around. You know, when you don't have to give, when your hand ain't always out.
Yeah.
Who's still there? There.
And who's there when you in need, right? When you need something, who's there to make sure you got it?
Right.
Folks can check on you and be quiet.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I ain't heard from you a couple days, man. You know,
everything all right?
You good? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are friends. The folks that disappear to my Super Bowl party every year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those ain't necessarily.
Is he talking to you?
Those are more in the acquaintance category.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
Yeah.
You happen to know where I live. I lived there a long time, so that's really hard to know.
Come on, hang
You
out every once in a
Google
while.
me. You know what I'm saying? It get you there. But it's something completely different. This group of fellas right here, man, I hit them up any day of the week.
Yeah, that's right.
It's good.
That's right.
What's going on this weekend? Family, we've known each other our entire
lives. Yeah, families know each other.
Fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, well.
Some cousins.
Okay, so I think I'm the only one at the table with sisters, but.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so.
I know Andre. I know Ria.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
So, family, absolutely.
You gotta go back to know these names.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's two principles that I'm looking for when you're trying to establish new relationships. So the number one is trust, and I think the other one's loyalty. And I think those go both hand in hand. You know, I got to be able to trust you. You know.
Yeah.
You know, before you can come around the fam and chill, and I can be comfortable, and there has to be some level of loyalty. You can't be for everybody. Sometimes you got to make this difficult decisions.
That's right.
I mean, that's just the way life is.
I get it. I tell you all the time, look, I give love, but trust is earned.
Yeah.
The Lord tell me I gotta love people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just do. But trust usually comes to me like an onion. It comes in layers. Like, I give you a little of it. You violate that,
Yeah.
won't get no more.
We're not moving past that level.
No, we're not. And then you definitely put yourself in the acquaintance category. I still know you, know how I feel, whatever it is.
I'm gonna speak to you.
But you don't get closer into the circle. Like, I need to feel, like you said, that trust. I need to know that I can say something to you, even you won't hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless he figure I want you to know.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Or I can even say, like, yeah, you mind if I take this to Kev? You mind if I take this to Coke? Whatever. That's cool. Or I can group call y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, group text, whatever it is. Boom, this is what's going on.
Yeah. Or not say, hey, well, you might want to ask him about that. It's not for me to say.
Correct.
Yeah, you know, and that's just, and we can say that to each other, and it's not gonna be no problem.
Nah, not offensive at all.
Yeah.
That's friendship.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. So, do y'all have any friends outside of our common space? So, maybe friends who are a little bit different from you. No.
So, I mean, I would say, well, again, it's a definition of friendship. So,
Yeah.
there are lots of people that I know, and there are things that we don't necessarily share in common, and that's perfectly fine. You know, I've got friends that, you know, come from all different socioeconomic groups and areas. Black, white, none of that really per se matters. We all know we grew up in a pretty predominantly white neighborhood.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's not an issue. No. So, but again, my son told me one time, when he was in high school, he said he was jealous. He said, you got so many friends, And I said, son, you got to take a look at your definition.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of people that know me.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of friends.
Yeah.
That is a completely different category of things.
Yeah.
So I've got people from that I consider friends from work. But again, we relate over work type stuff.
Yeah.
Friends that I'm cool with because we support the same football team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can chop it up any day of the week. Go Nine. You know what I'm saying? we can chop it up any day of the week. Had none of it. I mean, we can chop it any day of the week over stuff like that. But I think the ones that are closest to me can run different areas, different gamuts. Like I can talk to you about music, I can talk to you about sports, I can talk to you about religion, I can talk to you about family, fatherhood, sons, whatever it is. We can politics. We ain't gonna talk about too much out here, but we can absolutely have those conversations, and those circles overlap. And I feel more comfortable there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Cool.
How do you bring people in that are maybe from a different background? What's your experience with?
I mean, it's really gonna go back to that energy thing. You know, it's really about you showing me that you belong in this category, right? I tell people all the time that really, if you break it down in your life, there are really two different categories in your life. There's people you care about, and there's people you deal with.
Right.
Right. I want you to think about
What
it.
about category 3, the ones that are cut off? But anyway,
But see, that's because they ain't even one of the categories.
I gotta deal with everybody.
If you care about somebody, then you're willing to go and do things for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you deal with somebody, then you'll deal with them when you have to. I think that the problem that a lot of people have is that we so quick to put somebody in the care about you category that has not earned to be there.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's my thing is you got to show me that you're willing to give me what I'm giving you. I'm done giving people more than what they're giving me.
Right.
Just because those are the people, whenever you're doing that, you start getting jealous, or you start like, well, how come they doing this without me? And how come they doing it? And I don't have no time.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So it's about what you have to give me what I'm giving you. And that's I don't think that's anything too much to ask of anybody.
I told you a long time ago, and it kind of stuck with me. Said I want two types of people in my life: people that add and multiply. People who subtract or divide.
You got to go.
They got to go.
Hey, that's it.
And it stuck with me because it's true.
Absolutely.
I know, I'm a little science minded.
Yes. Absolutely.
There is nothing in science that has basically a zero effect. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gravity. You name it. Whatever force we're talking about, it either it's gonna slow something down, speed it up, it can hold it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no zero effect of anything that happens. And so since there's nothing that affects you in no way whatsoever, you definitely want to make sure that you're putting yourself in positions where when I deal with you, I leave that in a better place than I left it.
Right.
Because some people literally sap everything from you. You've had those people you walk into a room with, and after the conversation, you feel like you need a drink. You know what I'm saying? Because you done played counselor, you done played priest, you did all of it, and you leave completely depleted. The worst part about that is those people come back to you tomorrow and do it again.
Yeah, that's it. 100%.
They didn't listen one word you said, and they come back to the exact same problem. And what am I supposed to do?
I tried to give you some advice. You didn't want to take it.
Correct.
What else can I do?
Listen, my standard response. I pray for you.
Absolutely.
that's what it turns into after a while.
That's it. Yeah.
Wasting my breath.
Those energy vampires do exist. People who just
100%.
drain
feeding
the energy.
They feeding. As long as you feeding, they eating.
And you want those people who are pouring into you. So
Absolutely.
give you life and new energy and ideas and
inspiration.
inspiration.
When we need it.
Absolutely.
Let's get that good friends around you to notice that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That can feed you.
Yeah, when you need
look a
it.
little hungry. You slice a pizza.
Right.
For sure.
All right, so let's go back. Let's take it all the way back to the beginning.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about how we met. And this is going to it's going to start with you. The story all starts with you because you were the first one in the neighborhood. So
Kevin was at it, but he's not here. So
right.
The other member of the Woods is not here. But so my man Griff here. So I remember what I remember about Griff was lunchtime. Okay, so here we are. We're in the lunch line. You know, everybody's getting their tray. I think it might have been spaghetti day. I don't know if y'all remember spaghetti day. They used to give you that roll. You open that roll, put that pat of butter in there, put that spaghetti in there, make that little spaghetti sandwich, and then they had that little buttered corn on the side. Anyway, we sitting behind that table and everybody's getting their lunch, and everybody look over and and I'll excuse me for saying this, but as you said, we went to a predominantly white school.
Absolutely.
So there was only a few black kids in there, and none of us had a lunchbox except for Griff. And Griff had a 3-course meal in his. Griff opened up. He had some chips. He had a nice sandwich and some soup. Always had some soup. Graham always make sure you had that hot thermos. Always. Griff was in there. Soup. Oh, they no drink. No, it's some soup. Graham done brought together. And so I just remember I was intrigued by that, just because, not that my mom never made me lunch or anything, but it's usually just if we were going like on a field trip or something, she would pack me a lunch. And I just thought that was real interesting that his parents packed him a lunch all the time. And then when I found out that he wasn't going trick-or-treating with us, I was like, "Are you gonna go?" Nah, my mama don't do no costumes.
My mother played no games. No trick or treats for the breakfast.
So
no trick or treats. None. I was out them streets serving the Holy Ghost.
Hey, that was it.
That's all we were serving.
She won't have it.
That's all we were serving.
The Holy Ghost.
She won't have it.
Church flies. Yeah, that was good times. Good times. What do you remember when Ramon moved to the neighborhood?
I remember when Ramon moved to the neighborhood. I can't remember what it was when we first.
And you probably wouldn't. I mean, the way we kind of slid into the neighborhood, military family.
Yeah.
So we moved every 4 years. And so for me to know y'all that long, this was amazing.
Yeah. I'm about to say,
We moved every 4 years. So I got used to making a new group of friends. Every 4 years. So I really didn't even speak to anybody for real until we went to school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was sort of
the neighborhood we left. It was still a fairly decent neighborhood. Kings Bay, Georgia. Naval Base had just started building, so really was nothing there. The school I went to was Georgia. There's a lot of black people there, So coming to a school where I could count on y'all like this, and we talking all the grades. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? It was different.
Yeah.
Sitting down at lunch. I remember sitting down at lunch like,
who am I gonna sit with?
Correct. Because I didn't really make no friends over the summer.
Yeah.
So, because I wasn't even sure what school I was going to go to for real. Because where my birthday fell. My mother was fighting to try to get me to go 7th grade instead of 6th.
And they just did
My
one day.
birthday was 2 days too late. So, but see what came of that?
Yeah.
These fellas right here I met. So I did. I built mine slowly. Got to the point where I could ride around there with my bike and go see, let me go to Larry's house, let me go to Cody's house. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to this man's house. We had a neighborhood pool.
Yeah.
The only pool I was ever in was this man's pool.
Yep.
Ever. And it was close to my house than that pool was.
Yep.
Had to pass it to get there.
Yeah, because they closed that one pool that was right there by the tennis court. Remember they closed, there was a pool right there, they closed that one.
Yeah. I think what I remember most is when I first got to the neighborhood. So, we're talking way before streaming media, way before Netflix, nothing. We had a lot of dead time in school. This brother was the comedy relief. So all the jokes, this brother saw Raw, like Eddie Murphy. He went to, I was like, this is incredible.
You never shared with let you watch it.
Yeah, I couldn't. I saw none of that stuff. Nothing. The jokes, man, I was like having your own personal comedian. When we moved to the neighborhood, I said, I never seen nothing like this coming from. And I think we moved there, and I was in 5th grade. But that's what I remember about you the most. And I mean, that hasn't changed. You just have a memory for all the funny stuff and just entertain us for.
Pick a movie line.
Give me a movie.
For sure.
You know what I remember about you, and you're probably not. I mean, my first memories of you were that you were a super nice guy, and it wasn't that. It sounds funny, but I think the women kind of tainted you, bro. And this is a message.
I'll agree.
This is the message for the ladies out there.
I'll agree.
Ladies who say there are no good guys.
It's
out
because
there.
of you.
Yes, because the dude was.
Look, it was over the summer, and I can tell you what summer it was. I can tell you that. Look, I'm about to expose us. I'm about to expose us. So
we ain't gonna use names on.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about Kemp's Landing.
Oh wow.
Oh, Kemp's Landing was the best
Now,
school to be.
Kemp's Landing. One weekend, I don't know if I stayed at your house. We stayed at my house. We made a little form. You remember when we made the form about girl? We gave to every girl in the school, and I can't remember how many of them gave back to us, but we had like a roll of index, a whole bunch of girls. No, remember this? And over that summer, I can't remember what happened, but we went to the sale, and a beast was born. A beast was born.
Transformation from
the dude that used to like to write poetry.
That's it.
He went from Ralph Tresvant to Bobby Brown.
There it was. He went from a man with sensitivity to every little step he takes. It was his prerogative.
That's the one.
And he had some romance. You know what I'm
Yeah. So I blame it on you, ladies. I blame it on you. All this is y'all. All right. So what did you learn from each other's families? Like, I remember coming in contact with y'all's families when I was young. But what did you glean from like each other's families?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I got from our families was how our parents had like a sense of community. How they were all our parents.
Yeah,
for sure. Right? Like when you hear it takes a village, we had a village.
Absolutely.
Because we was in a big tribe, but we needed our village because there was a whole bunch of people that weren't exactly like us in the area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I'm not saying, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we had it very bad there. I mean, there was some racism going on there, but I don't think for the most part, it was more from kids' parents. It wasn't really the kids.
I don't know about that one.
Well, I'm saying, some of the kids, but not all of them. Right, I can't say that all kids were
doubt.
Yeah,
we had good, I think.
Yeah,
but I did get called the N-word for the very first time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right here in the 6th grade.
I'm sure.
In Beach, Virginia.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Very first time.
Sure.
My mama got called to school and everything. But anyway, I punched it right in the mouth.
You don't get that.
Absolutely hit it right.
I got some tax for you. I'm gonna get you with this tax.
For real.
Yeah, I remember those days.
I would also say from your family, I would say because the thing about your family was that Graham lived with y'all.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, and that was an aspect because both my mom's parents lived in North Carolina, my dad's parents lived in Syracuse, so we saw them, but it was only on the summer. So your grandma being around all the time was something I took from your family.
Right, absolutely.
Your family was, I would say it was more about your mom than anything else. And the reason I say that about your mom is because with your dad being in the military, your family was the family that, your dad wasn't there. So it was like your mom was doing everything a lot. She was, so that I saw the strength of a black woman from your mom.
So I was appreciating my mom because like my dad being military and her doing real estate, she was real flexible at the time. She could be at almost anything that I needed her to be at.
And let me just say this, Mom, I'm not saying you're not a strong black woman.
That's
I'm not saying you ain't a strong black woman.
Like I cleaned that up. Like
I bring that back. I make sure it ain't there. But I mean, seriously though, your mom, she did a lot. Just like Kevin's mom. Kevin's mom did the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just good because we got to see different facets we saw a lot of things, but we saw people doing it the right way.
Absolutely.
So that's
trying to make sure we did too.
Yeah, that's it.
Any wrong we did, it wasn't necessarily because it was our environment.
Yeah. Oh no.
I sought it out.
So to an extent, we had to because where we grew up. Mm-hmm. Right, we weren't good. We weren't always good enough for the people in our neighborhood, And definitely for the people that weren't on there. I remember.
We were too good.
I used to hang out with some guys that lived out in Carper Apartments.
Absolutely.
And I remember one weekend, my parents had gone somewhere, right? And they were like, you gonna have some friends over, whatever. They came over. First of all, they saw my house. We was like, oh my goodness. Then we went out in the garage and we had a pool table out in the garage. And then we had that refrigerator out there full of sodas and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is like heaven. But to me,
it was normal.
It was just every day because look, when I went over your house, you had a pool table.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I went over your house, you had a pool.
Absolutely.
You had a room over the garage. Like that was the neighborhood.
Video games were by the garage.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember. So starting with Kev, I remember his mom was just an angel.
Yeah.
I think he could do no wrong. No, I mean, I remember Kev had like this was way back in the day. Remember he had a weed plant. He was growing it under a fluorescent light.
Oh, upstairs?
Yes. And I forgot what he told his mom what it was.
What is something else?
Oh my God! I said she just believes in you.
Yeah, because she loved you.
Yeah. That's all. But she was an angel, and I felt like she was one of those people who always was in your corner. So I really appreciated her growing up, and it was just she made a huge impact on me as like a parent who could relate to you, talk to you, be supportive. Yeah. I know I got into a lot of stuff back in the day, but I think she was. But
I tell you what, you knew where you were in Miss Hall right off the bat
for sure.
Because if she's smiling at you,
yep,
you good.
Yep.
Hey, Cody. Oh. What I do? You just knew. You know what I'm saying? You just knew. And I think that was with everybody's mom. I could tell when your mom was hot. I could definitely tell when your mom was hot. Because your mom, she just had this look on her face.
Amazing how different she is with that.
Hey, how you doing, Miss Reed? Okay, I'm gonna go on upstairs. It's good to see you, though. Let me just keep it moving.
Right? Yeah.
Because she wouldn't take it out on you, but you would know something on right.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely feel that. With you, when I went to your house, I always felt like your dad was the center of attention there. Like he was always
jokes.
He was always joking. He was always available. He was always like willing to chop it up with the kids, which I thought was really cool.
Absolutely.
And y'all were like Blockbuster back in the day. Before we had
every weekend we were going to Baltimore copy and every movie.
Bruh.
You hear that?
y'all had like 5,000 movies.
Yeah, man.
And they just let you check them out. I had to sneak them in my backpack, do something, and watch them in a VCR. Dang, bro, that's old.
Hey,
man, I remember
a VCR.
Yeah.
Oh,
you remember you had that?
We had an 8-track player out at the pool table. So yeah,
Hey, let me tell you something. And this is it. I'm about to expose myself. My father used to have a collection of tapes.
Oh well.
Now he was going on to try to switch it up in the top load. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I didn't say it.
He gonna chop all of us in the throat when I see him again. Yes, but when I went to Ramon, I always got the feeling like your dad was a super hard worker, and not all of our parents, I think, instilled hard work in us.
Yeah.
I think that they all had an edge. Like my dad always had a little bit of an edge to him, and that's because of the way that the world treated him. I think your dad was similarly that way, just because I think that they felt like they should be much further ahead in life. They weren't afforded opportunities, which is true. And a lot of those things you don't get to understand until you get older. Until you get older and say, "Hey, I've gone through these frustrations where you're better than your peers, but you can't get promoted." And those things weigh on you. You want to do well by your family, and those things still, as a man, you want to do those things for your families all the time. But I always felt like they had that work ethic that separated them from a lot of the other parents, maybe in the other neighborhoods and things like that. Our parents really worked hard for.
And that's what I'm saying. If you think about it, and I mean, like, if you think about it, if you look now at families now, but most of the time it's only one person's the breadwinner, only one person's doing something. None of our families were like that.
No.
Yep.
Both of our parents were working.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Our parents worked together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I tell you, I'm amazed at the amount of people that I have that are my friends, right? But when we start talking, and I'll be talking about how my parents are still together, so your parents are together? Like my parents been divorced since I was 2. Like literally. that is, it's amazing to me that is like, that wasn't the norm, because for us, that was the norm.
Right.
That was life. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's sort of different when I run into somebody, and then, you know, throughout life I realized that affects people when you don't have both your parents together like that. It gives you a different perspective on a whole bunch of stuff.
Absolutely.
As just like you said, working hard.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what, neither one of our parents is like, no, I'm staying home, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I can tell you right now, the one thing I can guarantee you my daddy instilled in me is hard work.
Yeah.
I've been working since I was 12, and I mean it.
Yeah.
My mother told me I wanted
100%.
$130 pair of Barclays back in the day. She was like, I ain't spending that kind of money on no sneakers.
Yep.
She told me if I could earn half,
She
she'd
paid
give me the
all
other
that.
half. That's how I started my lawn cutting business
There you go.
in Salem Woods.
There
I had
you go.
6 yards. I
Yep.
believe I used to cut them big yards for $10.
You know, out there cutting and bagging now. Yeah.
Get extra $5 to weed whack them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Listen.
Yep. Now you charge they charge like $6-7.
They do.
Yep.
And I think it goes back to something even deeper that I didn't even think about. It's about community, because a lot of our families got together for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They celebrated each other's birthdays and
Yes.
things like that. And I remember all of us getting together for those occasions. And I think it helps relationships when you have those kind of checkpoints. When we got to go to this. I know I've been upset with Bay a couple times, and there might be an event coming up. We're going to somebody's house. We're going to do this, and you got to check that. Hey, we're going to this. You know? And that kind of helps things smooth out. Like we get over it.
Because you get there and you're together, and it's sort of like you're together. You know what I'm saying? Like you're with a bunch of people, but the person you can relate to the most is your spouse or your partner. So y'all sort of gravitate together. If somebody will say something to y'all, gonna laugh about it.
Right.
Something that might help you get over whatever that hump is. So I get that.
Yeah, and I think that was positive reinforcement for all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's not that everybody stays together. It's just that I think it's encouraging for them to do that, and for us to have seen it, and to model ourselves after that, I think is truly a success. So let's move on to the highs and lows. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Did I skip you? I'm sorry, Professor Reed. Please enlighten us. I'm sorry. No, never that. Hey, bro. Wow.
Nah, so I mean, in terms of we was talking about families and what we learned from them and how everybody's family is different. You know, we talked and you talked about, you know, Grams.
Yeah.
You know, that was a whole different dynamic.
Absolutely.
You know, and again, it was kind of crazy that all of us had our mothers and our fathers, because I mean, we know a lot of people don't, especially these days.
Mm-hmm.
God knows it's so much different.
Right.
But again, like I said, being from a military family, none of my family was here, and I didn't even see my family. Half of them was in Detroit, the rest of them in Memphis, Tennessee. Y'all probably don't even remember seeing my family, almost never.
Yeah.
Because we just basically didn't get together. So what I got from y'all was family.
Yeah.
It was just interesting how you had an older brother my older sister's age. You had an older brother my older sister's age. I had a younger sister close to your younger brother's age. So it was interesting how all that kind of meshed together. And it did give you that kind of sense of family. Just like families, y'all fight. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
But y'all eventually get it back together because you realize that what y'all was fighting was stupid anyway. So like I said, I just want to throw that in because again, you know, I know y'all didn't remember me per se coming in because I came in real quiet. I came in real quiet. Wasn't expecting to know y'all very long. I mean, real talk. So, you know, you make your friends a little different. When you expect to,
Yeah, when you like, time to clock
out. So I love the moms for letting me graduate from Salem.
Absolutely.
My dad's last duty station was Omaha, Nebraska. She stayed. So
I remember that. I remember that.
Salem. But, because I was with y'all.
Yeah, I mean, they had been with us for a long time at that point.
Absolutely correct. So we all stay here. But yeah, that was just my thing. Even, you know, with Kev's mom and whatnot, you know, you always felt welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You always felt welcome.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
you also knew that you weren't just going to get away with anything that day. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Listen, it was nothing for my mama to call your mama. At all. Nothing. I remember that fight I was in front of your house, and Grams came out. Stop it!
Yeah.
That was it. That's instantly, fight's over.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of respect we had.
Yeah.
His mama, my mama. She
Yeah.
said it rolls.
That's
it.
And that's
my mama might as well say it.
That is the cool thing, because all of our parents could check any of us
anytime.
and you did not.
Look back, nothing.
Yeah, that was nothing.
Matter of fact, you took it real good. You make sure she didn't call out names. You might catch it twice.
I'm about to say, that's the last thing you want to come. Oh, so I heard that Miss Griffin asked you to do something you didn't do.
Golly.
Oh, come on, get in the corner.
Listen, we was old school. I don't know how many corners I got to go in, but
oh no, you missed it. I said go on, get in the corner because I'm about to knock your teeth over.
Those are the corners I remember. Yeah.
Now my mama wasn't. She was more of a politician. She wasn't like your mother or your mother. She was more of a. Her favorite thing was, wait till your daddy get home. Oh no. We be sweeping. I be cleaning up.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah.
You won't see my daddy for 6 months. What? You know what I'm saying? Damn, she used to hand me that phone.
Oh, she loved it.
Your daddy's on the phone.
Oh gosh.
It's like the warden calling.
This one, I love you phone call. I miss you. None of that.
Nah.
Your mama told me.
What you doing?
It would be long too.
Yeah.
Coming through the door, you expect a present.
Yeah. Oh, you remember? So I've been gone for 6 months. You remember what you did 2 weeks in? 2 weeks in. Well, look, I was gonna get you this, but I decided to get it for a reason.
Yeah. Nah, it would be Anita. She was a spoiled one. But anyway, love you.
All right, let's talk about some of the highs and lows we've been through. Are there any things that stick out where someone reached out to you, one of us, one of your other friends, and kind of helped you with? It can be a success or something maybe that was a low point.
I mean, I would say all throughout junior high school, we all had ups and downs.
Absolutely.
Right? We always. I would say that we probably have faced more issues than the average person just because of our surroundings and where we were.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, I can't think of a time that I've ever needed y'all that y'all weren't there for me.
Yeah.
Right. There are always times when you need someone, but I know, just like Ramon said earlier, if I call you and say, "Hey, something's not right," then it's not even gonna be a question.
Right.
So, let me see if I can try to think of a low. I can't. Nothing. Well, maybe it's because now looking back on it, it wasn't really a low.
Right. It wasn't.
Right. now you look at it like, whatever. But back then, there were some things that happened in high school, junior high school, that was sort of detrimental to you at that point in time.
Felt like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It felt like it was over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over.
Yeah. I agree. For me, maybe when you're going through them, they don't seem small, but looking back, they may not be as big as you thought they were. You know what I mean? So even as an adult, I can remember when Sanaya was born and new parent, I was like, she was born a month early. I was concerned and I was boo-hooing and everything. She's in the infant ICU, and I remember Kev called me. He's like, he told me that she was going to be strong. So I was like, she's like you. And I was like, wow, that's cool. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Just said what you need to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
And he knew that's what you need to hear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that really made an impact on me. So, what about you?
Y'all call me Bobby Brown. And I'm okay with it. I used to buck against it first until they explained it to me. It was like, nah, it's because you're just always doing your own thing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean,
and I had to look at it and be like, yeah, they're probably right.
Yeah.
I did. I bucked against the grain a little bit. Not always in bad ways.
No.
I just, you bring up the Rhythm Nation hat, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I had my own little inside joke.
Have that
inside joke.
I remember that.
I wasn't afraid to do my own thing, and didn't care what you said about it.
Yeah.
I can't say I didn't care. I wouldn't show that I cared. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
Because you're a little older, I would say, when you get to truly expressing.
But see, that
feelings.
that goes back to what we talked about earlier about when you change.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Because there was a time when you didn't have a problem expressing if somebody had did something to you or bothered you. Right? But it goes back to somebody that you thought cared about you did something to you, and you like, oh, well, I guess maybe I don't need to show that to people no more. Right? And I mean, that's usually what, and I'm not saying that that's my recollection, but I'm just saying in general, that's usually what happens. Yeah, I can tell you a prime example. So one time, when I was playing basketball, I think I was probably about 11 or 12. I was playing basketball for my dad. We went to practice at Holland Elementary, and it had snowed, right? So that night, my mom had made like Salisbury steak and some potatoes. So I ate before we went to practice. And when I was running into the gym, I slipped and fell on the ice. And when I fell on the ice, I hit my head. Now this is before concussion,
right?
Like that, right?
Right.
So I got up, and my dad's like, "You all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm all right." And I started vomiting. I started throwing up. So I would say probably till about maybe 7 years ago, I associated Salisbury steak with getting sick and throwing up, but it had nothing to do with that. It was because I had slipped and fell on the ice and hit my head. So what I'm saying is that sometimes when you have an experience that makes you feel a certain kind of way, you sort of associate that with that, right? So with you saying right now, well, I don't show it. Something happened for you to say, well, me showing it isn't a positive thing. I shouldn't do that. And dealing with somebody, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you do that with everybody, but you know that there's certain people you can't let them know how you feel because what's the purpose? They don't care how you feel.
True. I think one of the cool things is we were at.
I know that was a little bit off topic.
No, yeah. Well, I mean it was, but it wasn't. But sometimes good things come out of those types of conversations because I remember we were at my brother's house and my older brother was actually telling a story about us.
Yeah.
And depending on how you look at the story, it was a compliment to both of us and the relationship. And what came out of that was other people in the room started talking. I was like, well, I gotta tell you. Which I thought was cool, especially as men, we're like, we won't talk about relationships or things like that. And even I dropped the ball when we've had conversations in the past and we said, when you were getting married. And you called me and you said, hey, I'm getting married. And as strong as I could come was, are you sure? Yeah. I had reservations, but I wasn't able, and I didn't want to be the guy that's like, yeah, you don't. I didn't want to be the guy. Yeah, I didn't want to be like, yeah, y'all ain't gonna make. Nah, yeah. It was more like I just don't see what I think I need to see in that person for this to be successful. And I wish I would have had, the courage, or maybe not courage, but the insight to kind of say that.
I mean, and that's tough though, because
it is. It's hard to,
especially when, because he's coming to you with happiness.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not coming to you, hey, I gotta get married, dog. No, hey, I'm getting married, man. So you don't want to be the one to rain on that parade, because at the end of the day, what we want is for you to be happy.
Absolutely.
Right, and if you're happy, I definitely don't want to be the one that's like, now unless if they did something crazy, brother, let's sit down and talk about this one. But for the most part, like you said, he was happy about it. You didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I agree.
That night he's talking about sparked something. There was maybe 10, 12 of us there.
Yeah, there was a good number of people in the room,
and all black men.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And to actually have men sitting in a room being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Talking about stuff that men kind of talk that they're
not supposed to
talk about.
Yeah.
And to be able to realize that so many people in that room can relate to what you're going through, what you're going through, maybe what you're going to go through.
Yeah.
And again, to be safe in that space, we got to the point by the end of it, I was like, yo, we need to get together and do this again. Like, that any counseling session I come up with. Yeah. Because these people know you.
Yeah.
And because they know you, it's not something they read in a book. It ain't something, this is what I'm supposed to say because this is the equation. No, this is, I know you, I know this, I experienced this. It's all relatable. And the same with love.
Yeah, not coming from the wrong place.
Right, you got about 5 more minutes. That'll be $75. That's not what you're getting.
Look, I got Mr. Thompson coming in at 6.
Exactly. So your time actually is at 5:55. Yeah, no.
Hey, that all sounds interesting, but your time is up.
Yeah, so I mean that was huge. I mean, and the subject we were talking about. I mean, there's definitely things that have happened, and that person had your back. And I tell a story to anybody. Like, I had started a new job, going through that divorce he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Flat broke. Okay, bruh, flat broke. She left ton of bills and took all the money. So anyway. I call this dude. He's like, "You alright?" I said, "Nah, not really. We just talking now. I ain't want nothing from him. I just need a vent.
Right.
I just need a vent. Because everything was going on. I had money taken out of my account for my business account. I mean, everything was going under. And I was like, bro, I said to him, I said, man, I don't even know how to get to work for the rest of the week. I don't know if I got enough gas money to get there. The very next day, this dude came to my house, rang the doorbell, put cash in my hand, and just walked away. He ain't asked for nothing. He ain't say nothing. We had a long, drawn-out conversation about it. And he went home.
Yeah.
Of course, when I got paid, I paid him back.
Right.
He asked for the money back.
Because it's not in the conversation.
It was about that. It was about, this is my brother. I know he has a need that I can meet.
100%.
I'm going to be there for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those are friends, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Those are friends, for real. You ain't got to beg, plead, bar.
Nothing.
Remember another story. I don't know why that involved you, but I was moving. Had a squad of dudes supposed to help me move. I'm ready to move. Nobody shows up. I called his house. His wife answered the phone. I asked to speak to him. She said, "Oh, he's asleep. He just got home from work. He's working over coke.
Yep.
And he just got home and went to sleep." And I was like, just tell him I called. My phone probably rang within 3 minutes. What's up? I told him what was going on. I'll be there in 20 minutes. This man just got off work.
Yep.
He skipped work, sleep, everything. My man needs me. I ain't asked him to come help me. I was gonna ask him.
But when she said you just got off from work,
he just got off from work, I would have felt bad asking.
Yeah.
Brother showed right on up. Started helping me load the truck. He broke something, but I didn't care.
Hey, man.
It's all good. I ain't need that
insured. My service ain't insured, but I
ain't need that no way. Just because I need to replace something. That's all.
Right.
I need a new entertainment unit. We good.
But that was cool because that night, when all of us together and we were sharing, it's better to me than therapy. Like, you don't need. I mean, and no knocks on therapy.
Oh, absolutely. If you need to get
it. But I feel like if someone cares about you and they have perspective and I trust you, I'd like to hear that over someone that I'm paying.
And then it really goes back to what you were saying, Ramon, about being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because you're really not comfortable with a therapist. You're not.
No
matter. I mean, you got to go to them for a while before you can get comfortable.
That's true.
Right. And that's it's big to be able to let stuff go, because as men we are taught not to. You don't let nobody know about your emotions. You don't let nobody know you hurting or you feeling this or you feeling that, because at the end of the day, you a man. I love that. That is my favorite phrase.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you a man. So what does that mean?
Suck it up, rub some dirt on it.
Yeah. So since I'm a man, you should have to pay any bills. Because I'm a man, I should have to pay for everything. Because I'm a man, you should be able to talk to me all crazy, but if I say something, you call the police. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. That I'm a man. That thing, sometimes it's valid, right? You need somebody to move some furniture. Well, I need a man to help me. Maybe
Absolutely.
I might say that, but don't tell me, hey, my friend just passed away. I'm kind of having a hard day. Oh, well, you a man. You shouldn't feel like that.
And emotionally, I think we're trained to think like
that. No, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And they wonder why people break down early.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or you go over and you knock somebody out because you stressed out.
I think I'm gonna have to put somebody to sleep tonight. I'm a little
figuratively.
Yeah.
I'm a little stressed.
I'm with you.
I think we were all raised that way, though. Literally, I think I was in my 30s before I felt comfortable enough to tell another man I loved him.
Yeah.
Oh,
because that was. what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
your dad brought some stuff home. That's how I say I love you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That
Lights on, right?
Yeah, that's it. Did you open the refrigerator doing this food in there?
Love you.
Mean it. Like, for real. So we were raised different, and not to say we were raised wrong. Listen.
Yeah, no, because there was never no doubt about our fathers loving us.
No
doubt.
That was a different toolbox.
Yeah,
it was a different toolbox,
Yeah.
and it's just like you're talking about therapy. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to a therapist, and I believe that they can arm you with things. They can help you in different situations. But again, they're only going to know but so much about you, and they're only going to know what you actually allow them to know about you. Everything else is going to be more or less book knowledge. Now, there's research and book knowledge. There's a space for all that. Again, I said, if you need some therapy, please go get it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had therapy in my life. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If it's something that you need, seek it out, get it. You know what I'm saying? But there is something to be said for when you've got somebody that you can confide in, somebody that you do feel you can be that vulnerable with. Because again, like you said, you got to see a therapist for a long time before you get, and then it's, even still some areas you still ain't touching.
Oh, that's right.
But with your closest people, they know where the bodies are buried.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And so ain't much of nothing I can tell you.
That you shock you. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? This you ain't gonna
you might tell your therapist
something.
They be like, okay, you have a good day, and then you get a letter in the mail. I'm not gonna be able to.
Or knock at your door.
I'd like to refer you to.
Yeah, who's there? Jimmy's police. What?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? No.
Dr. Wachowski called us, and
he's a mandatory reporter.
We don't need you to come with us, please.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of times it's just the outlet to vent. Like a lot of times we're not solving each other's problems, but it's somebody that's encouraging you.
Or letting you get something off your chest.
For
Sometimes
sure.
you just got to get it off your chest.
Yes. It was somebody I trust. Like, they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. I ain't just walking up somebody's street. Hey, you know what? I'm going to smack the hell out of my neighbor. You don't do that.
Right.
You know.
Depending on what neighbors you got. But sometimes.
Lord Jesus.
I had one.
I think we've all had them.
Yeah, we've all had that neighbor.
Oh, for sure.
Ooh, Lord. But that was therapy for me back when I remember just like we'd be sitting down the driveway and I'd be like, man, you know what? F Miss so and so, she did blah blah blah, and everybody F her, and then I felt better. Everybody like, yeah,
I can't stand her.
Right. And that one teacher we had.
Oh
Lord.
Oh yes.
I think I know what you're talking about, but that's cool.
I don't think you had. No names. No names.
Y'all told me these stories. Yeah, we using no names.
Let's not say nobody.
But I mean,
out loud.
seriously.
Yeah.
Like you said, you go to people that you can trust. And there's most of the time, they can't solve your problem.
Yeah.
But they'll be there to help you walk through your problem.
Yeah.
Or if it gets worse,
just listen.
when it gets better, they celebrate with you. Whatever, they're there for it.
Yeah.
And that's just, again, it's a safe place. It's just a safe place. I can talk to you and I know he ain't got $1 million. He ain't got no job to give me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the fact of knowing that if he had one,
if he had one,
he'll
no doubt.
point me in the right direction, or he'll help me fill out my resume. You know what I'm saying? He'll do whatever.
Yeah, do whatever he can to help you try to get that $1 million.
They're hiring at their jobs. Whatever resources they have are your resources because they know you need something that they can't actually do for you. But what they can do, they will. If they may not have a bed for you to sleep in, you sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I still got a roof.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? They will make space. Hey, bro, I only got one sandwich. I cut this sucker in half.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Eat.
I got 13 chips.
You know what I'm saying?
You get 6, I get 7. I gotta have my 55%.
I eat something. You know what I'm saying? Good. But nah.
You don't want to share the chip in the middle.
I need a whole chip. I'm sorry. If it's whole, I need the whole thing. I'm sorry.
Nobody wins when you break the chip. Nobody wins. So how has life changed since we were kids to our current situation? How has things evolved? How is
different now? We have family.
The things that change boys to men.
Yeah.
So
we got families now.
Oh my God.
We have become, for lack of better words, we are parents now. We have seen. I remember all the time my dad said, "Oh, I can't wait for you to have some kids. They're gonna give it right back to you." And believe me, they give it right back to you. It amazes me. You remember when your parents used to say, "Oh, you did you think I was never a kid?" I said that to my kids all the time, like, and you're not even good at it.
I had that conversation with my son. I had that conversation with my son. He tell you I did.
Y'all are horrible at it. I mean,
I might have did that, but boy, I would never got caught.
Look, I tell you, look, I might not have gone to a class, but you know what? I know at 6:37, that's when they calling. So I'm calling the time at 6:36 and waiting for that phone to beep. What's my dinner, Mom?
This old school. See, this is for text alerts.
Yeah, and all that stuff.
Yeah, the school had to call when you skipped.
That's it. Yep.
Exactly.
They don't have to go through as much work or be as creative to solve their problem.
Man, look,
that's part of the
get up in the
problem.
morning to see if it snowed, whether the school was going to open, and watch
They get
the
a
dad
text
on
message.
screen at 5 and you praying that your school is out, and then your school don't roll.
I was like, yeah, your bus be there at 7:32, and you sitting at joint at 7:30. Come on, just cancel it. Just cancel it.
They ain't got the key yet. Come on, keep going.
Has anything else changed? I mean, I know we obviously got a little bit older, a little bit grayer, a little bit. Yeah.
Pimping them grays. I earned every last one of them.
You got that right.
I earned every last one of them. I mean, it's just so different. I mean, obviously being grown, I tell my kids, I tell other people's kids, I tell other grown people, do you just miss the days when you walked in, you hit the light switch, and it just came on? I mean, like,
when you open the refrigerator, it's just full. You didn't have to go fill it up.
I remember, don't know y'all do know this. I remember gambling my entire paycheck away in high school. We ain't gonna name nobody daddy who took it, but you know what? That was a life lesson.
Good.
It was a life lesson. I stopped gambling at 17. I ain't gambled since.
There you go.
Listen, life lessons. Those are things you learn from. They're supposed to make you grow.
Yep.
Everybody don't grow at the same rate. So, where was I? See, I didn't.
Oh, you talking about your check that you gambled?
Yeah. So, but the difference is, when I lost that check, I knew when I came home, one, there's still gonna be a roof there.
Yep.
There's gonna be groceries. Water's still gonna run.
Yeah.
Electric was gonna be on.
Mm-hmm.
There was clothes in my closet.
There it is.
I just won't have no money for the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
As a grown man,
yeah, you can't do that.
I gotta sell some plasma. What I gotta do to get this bill paid? Hey, bro, in this life I've recycled metal. I've done everything. You never know.
Oh, you got it right. Yeah.
As a man, these man roles. You know, you can complain, whine, cry, do whatever you want to do it, but at the end of the day, you still gotta make it happen.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Especially when you got kids.
There you go.
They got a wife right now, but family's family.
Yeah, they like to eat.
Hey, don't they? Whew, summers was brutal.
Yeah,
you never realized how much they ate in school until they get home all day.
Sometimes my daughter said to me, she said, "Dad, we eating dinner?" I said, no, let me ask you a question. Have you ever, as long as you've been alive, not eating, have you ever not been fed? Have I ever told you no? Well, no. I said, so don't ever ask me that again. Like,
it may not be steak tonight. However,
you
will absolutely eat.
Yeah.
I was observing, and I like to observe everybody and learn, like treat every situation as a learning situation. And when I was watching you with the kids at your daughter's award ceremony, I took a lot of things away from it because I didn't get to see you interact with them a whole lot, but I was observing quietly and I'm taking notes just because I'm always trying to be a better father myself. And I think your son did something that was, and you gave him this look, and then the way you were talking about, I was like, ooh, having flashbacks. What did kids say? I got triggered. I was about to get with my son. I said, wow. I was like, yes, that brother doing a good job. I saw your son's face like, yes, Dad. I said, I remember that. He gonna say whatever you want to right now. Sky's wrong, right? Yes, Dad.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I'm good.
I mean, that's one of the major differences, realistically, though, between kids now and like when we grew up. Man, that structure and everything, like for real, we've seen it. We saw it when we were out in Cali.
Yeah.
Man, them kids ran amok. I mean, I was on the plane, man. After about 2 hours, I had to turn around and tell this couple. I said, listen, I took as much of this as I could take. If your kid kicked the back of my seat one more time, He was like, boy, you did good. Because I'm telling you, for 2 hours I was doing this.
Yeah.
It was constant. I think he's going to go to sleep or something.
Yeah.
Never. And you had to know your kid was kicking my seat that entire time.
Yeah.
I watched the entire movie.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting kicked.
Oh, no.
And then as soon as I said something, all of a sudden your kid stopped. He said the best parenting he saw was when his mother checked her kid.
Yes.
He's like, oh my God, I ain't seen no parenting like this since we've been out in California. He's not lying.
Yes.
Them kids were.
Oh, no, I believe it.
Say this. You see that now, it's like parents aren't parenting their kids, they're their friends. They afraid to hurt their kids' feelings, say something that might. No. My parents didn't have to say much. He would ask me on the flight. He said, how long do you think you would have got away with so-and-so?
I would have had a leg no more.
Listen. The look, it just reminded me that the look. Herb with him. And whatever it was, I stopped breathing. like, for real. Because whatever was coming next, I ain't want
none of that.
I want no parts of it. My daddy beat me that much, but whoo!
When he got it, you got it.
He meant it.
Lord. That's Lord.
Yeah.
So you never wanted to go there again.
Yes.
Some stuff he just taught us through lessons.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember the lessons too, because I appreciate them rather than the
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, we all know this. We'll talk about parenting another day, but
Yeah.
all kids are different. So as a parent, you learn that.
Absolutely.
The absolute hard way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
don't
for
come with
sure.
manuals.
Not at
Lord
all.
knows we wish they did.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we listen, life, we basically the sum total of what life put us through.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, like I said, you learn from it, or you don't and you repeat the lesson. You learn from it and grow, or you let it destroy you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so, where say you were based and you were bound. I've done all of it. You know what I'm saying? I've been
Of course, that's
on
what
the
I'm
top,
calling.
making money to the point where I ain't paid no attention to it. I've been at the bottom with $10, might as well have been 10,000, because I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? So I've been everywhere in between, but all of that has taught me a lot of different things. I mean, humility is one of them.
Yeah.
Because except for the grace of God, there go I. I mean, there's so many decisions I made in this life that could have had me in a whole different place than I'm in. And as a parent, you try to impart some of that to your kids. My grandma told me a long time ago, may she rest in peace, miss you dear, you will not live long making every mistake yourself. You have to learn from people that came before you, and that's why that village you was talking about means so much.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're good. That village means so much because there's so much knowledge. The Bible says that youth is wasted on the young, and they say that because as we get older, if we would have known then what we know now. Like, my parents didn't teach me anything about saving and investing or whatever. And I think it's because they basically didn't know nothing about it.
Right.
It wasn't that they didn't want me to know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, God knows I wish I would have started. I got my first taxable job at 16.
Right.
If I'd have known about 401ks and stuff like that, man, listen, I might not be working now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because those are just lessons that were not imparted in me.
But part of it was because we didn't need to, right? I mean, you know, to an extent, what I'm saying is that when we were coming up, just like you said, our parents made sure we had what we needed, right? Then when we went out and we had jobs, it was more or less for you to go get what you
wanted,
blow your
not what I
money.
needed.
Yeah. As my dad told me, he said, "Look, I'm gonna tell you, you work for two reasons. You work to pay your bills and to get what you want. And if you working and you ain't doing them two things, what you working for?"
Yeah.
Right? I mean, seriously, you know.
I get that.
So you know that's always what's been instilled in me is that you work, you should be able to get the things that you want.
No doubt.
Right? You got to take care of your business, but after that, you should be able to get the things that you want.
And going back to the what do you look for in a friend, I think it's always important to have friends with different perspectives that you can learn from.
100%.
So I learn from this man all the time, and you as well. It's just the conversations you have that can open so many doors. And like you said, you
Different
went to
perspective.
right, absolutely. And those other people who are in our friend group, but maybe not maybe in the middle. But you said you went to the party for your mom, and then one of the other parents who's been involved with us since we were kids, and said, "Hey, now you got some amazing business idea that could be extremely lucrative."
Yeah.
So it's important to have those kinds of friends in your circles and expand it so that you can have people who you can lean on and share information with. I mean, that's what we should be doing. We should be sharing information so that we can all get ahead instead of, one of them. And when someone does get ahead, we root for them. We want them to support them.
What can I do to help pull you up?
Absolutely. Pull each other up. Let's help each other. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about what's next, and then we'll conclude. What's next for the friendship?
I mean, I think this is you looking at. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. This is you looking at. This is the evolution. The next evolution is us using our friendship to maybe help some other people and guide them in a different direction. Also, to give us a chance to, as Ramon said, this is going to become therapy for us. Yeah. This is going to be a vehicle for us to be able to talk about stuff that we're passionate about, and also be able to debate it with someone that you can have a debate with without it being a problem.
Right.
Oh yes. Without you taking offense.
Without
you taking offense, because I'm not saying to be offensive.
Yeah, that's it.
I can disagree with you without being disagreeable.
That's it.
You understand? This man can say things to me. I can remember we were having a conversation. Female friend of mine. I'm telling him, this is going on. This is my perspective, and I don't know why she's this, that, and forth. He said, I definitely see where you come from, but I can see where she's coming from as well. Because X, Y, and Z, and because we had that relationship. Yeah, he can say that to me. It goes right back to the marriage situation he was talking about. I told him, I said, you had the reservations. I can't say that you would have said what your reservations were, and I wouldn't have still done it. Yeah. But I'd have walked into it, because some of the stuff he would have said was stuff I was looking at anyway. Stuff I had already seen, but I kind of pushed to the side. People do not avoid red flags.
I'm gonna say, but see, that's what you do when you start caring about somebody. And you remember what I was telling you about people you care about and people that you deal with. Mm-hmm. And people that you care about is when you start looking past stuff. Or making excuses for and you find out, in my experience, that these things that you're making these passes for, they told you from the beginning.
When they show you who they are.
Oh, like when me and my ex-boyfriend broke up because of. And then when y'all bring up, they saying the same thing about you.
Correct. Wonder Wild's husband number 3. Hey, we'll leave that alone, but I mean, you start to realize. I wonder why that man tried to drive you off the Berkeley Bridge.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah. Listen. That time, all I wanted was some soup.
so I'm glad we're having this conversation, and I'm hoping that everybody who's joining our friendship circle out there is going to want to participate and continue the dialogue so that we can grow as a community. The things that we want to do, we want to use this opportunity to be a blessing to some other people. We haven't figured that out quite yet, how we're going to get there, but we want to have input from everybody out there who wants to talk about something other than sports. We find ourselves talking about sports a little bit too often, and those people get paid a lot of money, and they have very little impact on our lives. We need to have real conversations with people and invite them into our circle. Hopefully they can become part of our friendship group. Anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
I mean, we're definitely looking forward to the point where we get this podcast to the point where we actually can do it live and we can take your input and feedback right then. Mm-hmm. But until that time, we definitely want to make sure that you all can reach out if you have any questions, you have any comments.
Any topics you want to discuss.
Topics you want to hear discussed. Anything that you want us to expand on that we were talking about today. Like, I'm sure we're all going to get home and think about a million things we could have and should have said. Yeah. But of course, that's such as life. We'll make notes and get back to it later. Yeah. Tell us we live, we learn. I make notes about everything now. I'm getting old. What you learn in life, boom.
Absolutely.
And I keep receipts.
Got to.
But if y'all have any questions, if y'all have topics, y'all want to learn anything, know anything about us, if you got somebody you think would be a benefit to the panel, we definitely be open to, somebody to sit right along with us and expand the conversation. So we definitely open to everything.
Okay, cool.
I just want to say, I hope y'all keep tuning in and enjoy the content that we have, and just know that we all coming from a good place, right? And we we would just like to be successful in this. And when I mean successful in this, I mean, like Griff said, helping somebody.
Absolutely.
Success for me isn't necessarily monetary.
Absolutely.
Right? If someone can get something out of this, if I can help one person, then, you know, that's important.
It's worth it.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
absolutely worth it. Listen, I look for people who can help me all the time. And now, I'm not saying I'm out begging or anything like that. I take nuggets, I think, from every room I've ever sat in. Because there are people, especially my sitting rooms, I've sat in rooms with lots of people that got a lot more money, a lot more success, lived a lot longer than me. And I hold on to little nuggets of things that they say, because they may not realize it, but they're feeding me. They're feeding me. So if we can feed anybody else, we can help you grow, because anything that isn't growing is dead. And so we all need to be growing daily. Learn something new, expand your horizons. And if we can help you do that, if you can help us do that, God bless.
Yeah, all about it.
Yeah. So we're glad you taking this opportunity to join us in this friendship circle. We are so glad that with all the other choices out there that you guys have chosen us. For the Woods Finest, I'm Griff. For Ramon and Cody, we thank you guys for joining us and look forward to seeing you guys on the very next episode.
Thank you for coming out. God bless you. Good night.